You might be thinking this is a strange place to be sitting down and reading my paper, but that's exactly what the city wanted you to do this summer on Argyle Street. Now let's talk about that.
Mingle on Argyle was a pilot project to test whether chaos would ensue if we shut it down from street traffic for a few days a week.
So it's our first chance to try to build a street that people, cars, cyclists, strollers, everyone has equal access to, and that's why we piloted it first. It's a significant investment if we hadn't piloted it, so we took a shot first.
So downtown Halifax businessman has had a long history with plans to redo Argyle Street in some way. This goes back to 1987. There was a streetscape plan that was done for the street. So we actually we engaged with the Planning Design Center. We had some public consultation, and through that came up with a new vision for Argyle Street. This would have been probably about 2012.
It was about 3 years ago. We didn't start with the idea that it would be a shared street, but as soon as we started to talk and observe closely what was going on the street and see where the street fit in with the rest of the downtown area, it became pretty clear that this was a street that actually warranted, special attention, to be a place where people and cars might coexist.
Planters, tropical trees, and benches were brought in, and Argyles were painted, turning the street into your grandpa's sweater. But for me, the most interesting part was when the road began to close to traffic on weekends, allowing shops and events to just set up in the middle of the street.
I mean, most of the feedback that we got, both from the general public as well as the businesses here, was very positive. They take their picture, they would hashtag it with Mingle and Argyle, so we'd see all those pictures if you go online, and you'll see lots of those shots as well. So it really created another destination in the downtown.
We really liked that it was a trial, and we liked that we did it for 6 weeks and we learned from that. So our big work right now is coming together with a really nice report and analysis that we can share publicly, and we really want to be open about that and say what worked and what didn't.
The pilot project is closed now, but the city is already considering making it permanent. They've asked for companies to submit design proposals that include removing the curb entirely, street trees, street lights, street furniture, a lot of street stuff. They're also expanding it to Prince Street and up along Grafton Street. The city's request for proposals mentions that it could be integrated into a larger network of pedestrian streets in the downtown.
We are looking at what we can do on other streetscape projects, and they're listed, and council's approved us to work on 11 projects, but only in theory. Yeah, and Spring Garden Road is the next major project after Argyle. We've been given that priority set from council, so it's Argyle and then Spring Garden Road.
Now, we can expect any future redesign projects to cost a lot of money. Think millions and millions of dollars. The pilot project alone cost around $45,000, $17,000 of which was spent on painting the streets. This didn't make a lot of people happy. This leaves us with one question. Why?
You've got a lot of people talking, there's potholes in the city, there's fading paint in the city. Why are we doing something like this in Argyle?
I think it's important to recognize that we use the downtown differently than we use other parts of the city. And people come to our downtown to see some of our great public amenities. We want to connect all those so it's really comfortable to walk between them. We want people to understand that walking a few hundred meters isn't a problem, and you should be able to do that without, using an alternative mode of transportation. I think it's important to walk rather than some of the other modes of transportation sometimes, because you experience the city at a different speed. And we like the idea of walking. We've got important views that we're trying to protect in this city, and we think you see them better at a walking pace than you do at a vehicular pace. So doing that safely means you get to take in the best of our Halifax downtown.
Streetscape work is expensive, and the reality of what we have here in Halifax is we've neglected our streetscapes for so long. So some cities kind of do incremental, regular maintenance and streetscaping work, kind of continually. We basically have kind of abandoned our downtown streets for the past 20, 30 years. So because we do that, there's actually going to be a large cost to whatever we're doing on the street at this point in time.
Now, if you say it's not worth investing in any of those things, I would say you really don't have a city, and I don't understand who it is that's going to want to live in this place that you're making, where there isn't any kind of social life, there isn't any kind of sense of it's worthwhile being in. So in many ways, the economic argument is really a very short-sighted kind of concern. The kind of says, we're spending money, what do we get from it? What we actually get is a vibrant economy for the city. what we actually get is a city that's worth living in, that people want to stay in, that people are committed to, that new people would want to set up businesses on. We're not here to just move from one place to another. What we're here really for is the places where we stop. So streets actually have to become the places where we also kind of stop.
I think that's very well spoken,
right?
For sure.
So maybe having a city we want to live in goes beyond having pothole-free streets and perfectly preserved road paint. A beautification project like Mingle on Argyle Street might seem like the icing on the cake sometimes, but in reality it has a lot of social and economic value to it. And let's be honest, is it really a cake without the icing? We're Plan of Facts, and you can have this cake and eat it too.
Quisiera caminar por esa calle vacía, quisiera caminar para olvidar la dolencia. Monólogos que a rato pierden su eficiencia, procesos de racionalización sin eficacia. Quisiera caminar por esa calle vacía, quisiera caminar para olvidar la dolencia. Monólogos que a rato pierden su eficiencia, procesos de racionalización sin